Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. So I previously used this channel a few months ago for some tarot readings, and then I took a break to do something else and pursue another interest, and now I'm back. So this time around I'm going to use it more for life, as in what I can talk about, things I can talk about, experiences, different topics, different areas, different genres. I'm just going to talk about whatever. So today I really want to talk about conscious parenting and what that means and what it's like on a day-to-day basis living at home as a single stay-at-home mum. So me myself, I have two little boys. I have Michael, who's 4.5, and I have Jack, who's 1. So my main focus of my days are emotional validation. So this goes along with myself as well as my 2 children. So yes, it's as simple as it seems. Emotionally validating is validating emotions. So it basically means that you're accepting of anything that you feel, anything. So in society this day and age, it's pretty much okay with positive emotions, but it's not okay with negative emotions. So I try to bring awareness to that it's okay in my little household to feel anything. Doesn't matter if it's perceived as good or bad. It doesn't matter if it's a positive reaction or a negative reaction. All emotions are valid. So an example of that would be if ever Michael gets, my eldest is 4.5, if ever he gets frustrated or upset, then I sit with him and let him express that for as long as he needs to feel that, because I don't put a timer on how long he should express X emotion. So I could use an example of if you're in a relationship with your partner and all of a sudden they get pissed off, say someone at work does something and they get annoyed and frustrated, and you're sitting beside them when they get a phone call, and then within 2 minutes you're like, okay, time to snap out of it, forget about it, it's inconvenient for me and I don't want to be around you when you're like that. So we wouldn't do it to our partners, so I would like to think that you would stop doing that to your children. So when children have negative emotion, it's very important to be their safe space. So it's just being there with them and helping them work through it, helping them feel it, letting them know that it's okay that they should feel that way, not telling them to stop feeling that way, not shaming them, not guilting them, none of these things, because negative emotions are just as valid as positive emotions, and you can't expect children to just walk around on the planet and live and exist in only positive emotions. That's fairy tale land. That's never going to happen. So the whole reason that we have the lives that we have is because of contrast. So without black you can't know white, without happiness you can't know sadness, like without heartbreak you can't know love. So there's so many things in life that you need to have the polar opposite experience of. So emotional validation means you're validating every emotion, not just the ones that are convenient for you. And a side note is that the ones that you don't like to face are the ones that you have repressed, denied, disowned, and rejected, and are stuck deep down inside of you as a little inner child that needs healing. So when you have children, children are your biggest mirrors. So if your child is consistently having a certain emotion, that's usually because that is the emotion that's trapped inside of you. So there was a little version of you, whether you were 3 or 4 or 5, the age will come straight through to you when you start asking yourself these questions. Usually the experience of when you first felt this emotion will come rushing straight into your conscious awareness. Like, it's really incredible that the majority of adults I know don't even know this work exists, but yet this is where the key to healing is. This is where the key to growth is. This is where the key to your own awareness is. So it's phenomenal. But yeah, so I practice emotional validation everywhere with my sons, and that's not in the home. So if we're driving somewhere and Michael gets upset in the back seat while I'm driving and he asks me for a cuddle, then I'll find somewhere to pull over and stop and give him a hug, because I don't know, it's like, again, the example with your partner. If your girlfriend or wife is upset and just got a phone call and it made them cry and they found out bad news, like, would you just be like, oh yeah, well, I'll just wait another 25 minutes. Can you just hold that emotion for 25 minutes until we get home and then I'll give you a hug? Like, pull the car over and give them a hug, like literally. Like, oh my goodness, we have to see emotions as such important things, because you can't function as a human on the planet without emotions, but yet they take a backseat to so many things. So one of the flip sides of this whole thing that's happening around the world at the moment is that people are being, well, I suppose, yeah, forced to sit at home and face their shit. So when you've got emotions that you've been running from because you've been working 60 or 80 hours at your job and you don't have time to sit with your emotions, if you're a go, 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 if you grind, if you're doing 600 things all the time, all of a sudden your job's ripped out from underneath you and you've got to spend time at home by yourself, then it's a perfect time. Yes, and it's hard. I know that. That's why they call it the dark night of the soul. There's a lot of things that go along with doing shadow work and integration work, and it can be very difficult. I understand that. I've done them plenty of times myself, but there's no other choice. You can't just keep trying to live your life with your head in the sand, and especially when it comes to being a parent, because you are the example. So you have to be the one to lead the way. So one of the examples I can give is that where I really realized that what I'm doing is being seen by my sons, like they do understand it, is that last Saturday, so 1 week ago today, unfortunately, one of my little cats died. So I have 3 cats, and one of them had passed away outside. I'm assuming she got bitten by a snake. And I found her when I was hanging out the washing, and I was mortified. I managed to come inside and settle the boys because they were both inside in the lounge room and make sure that they weren't going to go outside. I got a towel and went outside and covered her up, and of course I was crying. So Michael was trying to get up to me and tell me that he's going to wipe my tears away and wipe the water off my face. And it's okay to be upset, Mummy. It's okay to be upset. Why are you crying? You tell me, I can make it better. So it was so adorable. That made me cry more, because it was like, here is my 4.5-year-old son actually trying to be the space that I need. Like, wow, it's completely flipped. And I could cry now just thinking about it. Like, wow, that's how powerful this work is, that you are showing children that it is okay to feel negative emotion. Being upset is okay. Being angry is okay. Being frustrated is okay. Feeling anxious is okay. So any of the type of emotions, like honestly, there is thousands of emotions, and it's like, I don't even know where the list is. There's probably a list somewhere you can look at and try and identify where all your emotions are. And some are at the higher end of the scale and some are at the lower end of the scale vibrationally. So yeah, it was phenomenal. So it's like, yeah, I cried all that day and that night, the next day, and it's like I just was so upset because my little princess was gone. So having Michael, I tried to explain to him about passing, her not being here anymore, and now she's in, you know, pet heaven, and she, you know, she's still around and with us, but she's not here to play and things like that. He gets it, but yeah, it was just the emotional side of it, is that, yeah, that just mirrored straight back to me that, yeah, what I'm doing is working, because yeah, it's, the proof is right there. So when kids feel emotion, like we're so happy to join in with their praise, and when they've done something amazing, and cuddles and kisses and high fives and all that side of it. But when it comes to negative emotion, yeah, I suppose a lot of adults don't know what to do with it because they've never been taught themselves, which is, you know, it's just no fault of anybody. It's just that's our parents and their parents, they never knew this stuff. So now that we do know, and information is so readily available, honestly, it's like information overload. You've got access to anything on Google. You can find anything. You can pretty much find a YouTube video on anything. Like, it's really incredible. So it's, yeah, I want to make videos and show people real life examples about how this is the emotion that we went through together. Obviously in the middle of Michael being upset, I'm not going to be trying to reach for my phone and try and make sure I'm recording it to put it in a video. Like, that's not the type of parent I am, but I'm quite happy to talk about the experiences. I'm quite happy to have Michael talk about his side of the experience and him to share on the channel. Like, that's amazing, because yeah, that's what it is. That's my life as a single stay-at-home mum. So yeah, it's really phenomenal. And it's like, I think for my mission is to help 1 million children. And I feel that the way I can do that is to bring awareness to adults that are around these 1 million children. So whether it's teachers and it's something that they, it's a new protocol that they learn, and it's emotionally creating the space for children to tell them how they feel and be able to be there with them and accept that, whether it's a support system that starts getting installed in schools that, you know, you've got to be there for children emotionally, because who knows what children have got going on at home, and if their parents aren't willing to learn it, then they need someone to be there as their safe space. Like, it's such a huge deal, people. Like, really, so huge. There's not a human walking around on this planet that doesn't feel emotions, but yet 99% of the population have no idea how to feel negative emotions, or that they're okay, or that you can talk about them, or you can share your experiences, or anything, because we're taught to suppress them, reject them, and deny them. So, oh my goodness. This could go on and on for days, honestly. So I'm going to try and keep this video short, but this is just the introduction to emotional validation. So one of the biggest things, yes, is conscious parenting is emotionally validating, because that's the underlying thing for everything. How you feel is how you manifest. The thoughts that you think and the feelings that you feel create your world. So if you want to teach children that they can think whatever they want and they can feel however they want, and that's okay, that opens up 1 million doorways for them, literally. They no longer have to hide how they feel. They don't have to feel bad about it. They don't feel shame. They don't feel guilt. They don't feel like something's wrong with them because they're just being human. Like, oh my God. And I'm very passionate about this topic. I have been quiet about this for, I don't know, since Michael was born. Like, I did research when I was pregnant and I was like, wow, okay, I'm going to do parenting a lot differently. And my inner child work had started before I even found pregnant. So I've been doing inner child work for years, maybe 7 years now. And it's phenomenal. Yes, sometimes you are not happy with it and sometimes you hate it because you just feel like it's a bottomless pit. But after every time you do healing, you do feel better because you do realize that was a part of you that you didn't even realize existed. And then when you bring it in and you give it love and you give it whatever it needs, usually it integrates within, and then you feel a little bit, I don't know, it's like, it's relief. It's, wow, well, that part of me was existing and that part of me was screaming out for attention and I didn't know. And this is all the ways it was manipulating my world to get attention from other people because I didn't have the time to sit with it. I didn't have the awareness it was there. And then when you finally sit down and face those sides of yourself, yeah, it's incredible the amount of things you go through. And just how quickly the body will offer up that moment to give you the healing that you need when you're ready to sit and do that. That's a whole other topic, so I can do videos on that as well. But for now, I really want to focus on emotional validation, especially with children. So if anybody would like to share the experiences they have with practices that they do to emotionally validate their children, if you want advice on a situation you're going through with your children, please message me. And yeah, just share this video, get this out to people so that other people understand how important it is to emotionally validate children. And subscribe, like, share, do, you know, all the above, everything you always do for everybody on YouTube. So thank you so much, guys, and I will be doing lots more content, so stay tuned for the next video.